IDB gives Guyana Rona recovery loan. Another Facebook scammer caught. And our Earth interest makes big gains. And today's history profile. I am Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6154. The IDB has just lent Guyana a US $130 million loan to help the nation recover from the pandemic. According to the IDB, it is expected that Guyana will use the loan to adequately respond to the effects of the pandemic, introduce measures that protect the income in vulnerable households while providing the necessary liquidity to businesses, continue providing essential goods and services, and promote economic and fiscal recovery in the post-pandemic period. This sum is the second of such loans. In January of 2021, the government received a US $34 million loan from the IDB. The Medical Council of Guyana is currently investigating the case of the fake doctor Michael McLennan. And, according to the council secretary, an official police report will be filed as early as next week Monday. The results of the police investigation will determine if McLennan will face criminal charges for the offense. Most likely he will, because this is actually a very serious offense. On Wednesday, the president announced that a $3 billion Guyana supplementary budget will be allocated to address issues affecting indigenous communities nationwide. This was after asking indigenous leaders at the National Two Shows Conference to identify issues affecting their communities and then formulate plans to solve those. The majority of the money will go towards education, health, and agriculture. Jogdeo now owes an additional $75,000 to Annette Ferguson after losing his bid to appeal the $20 million libel suit against him for a second time. The initial judgment was made since June of last year, but he had tried to appeal the decision, saying that the court was wrong to have decided in her favor in the first place, and that he has proof that he was telling the truth. Proof that hasn't surfaced, just like App News' mythical SOBs. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is the 2016 Suzuki Jimny Sierra 4-wheel drive. It comes with regular and low-range 4-wheel drive, mag rims, new tires, TV, CD, fog lamps, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $3.4 million. All pay as low as $700,000 down with around $67,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. Soku has busted a man in Berbice for another Facebook boyfriend scam. Today, 56-year-old John Patrick Lewis was charged with conspiracy to defraud. He had reportedly convinced the victim to send him $146,500 to clear the expensive package she was supposed to receive from her supposed Facebook boyfriend. He pleaded not guilty to the charge and was released on $50,000 bail. Lewis will be back in court on September 2nd. On Thursday, 29-year-old Andrew Ridley was charged with discharging a loaded firearm with intent. Ridley was accused of threatening a man in Alboystown before firing several bullets in his direction. None of them hit the man. He pleaded not guilty to the charge. Ridley was remanded to prison until August 10th. Yesterday, 2 men were arrested in Georgetown after dumping over an ounce of weed from a moving car. According to the police, officers on patrol spotted the men smoking weed in a car, and when the cops approached, they drove off and dumped the weed shortly thereafter. The police eventually caught up with them and then took them into custody. Guyanese are known for many things, and cheapness is one of them. Thankfully, you could be cheap and still get high-quality DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell truck parts for low prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for today's oil update. During the second quarter of this year, the Natural Resources Fund gained US $1.28 million in interest. During this quarter, US $232.16 million was added to the account from profit oil and royalties combined. US $1.28 million in interest income earned over the second quarter is actually more than 8 times the interest of the US $151,412.05, which was earned during the previous quarter. The recent increase in the Fed interest rates is the main reason for this major increase in our interest. Tonight's history profile is on Sir Lionel Alfred Lucas. Lucas was born on the 2nd of March 1914 in New Amsterdam, Berbice. He graduated from Queen's College and went on to study medicine in England, but quickly shifted to legal studies instead, as he was unable to stomach watching surgical procedures. Sir Lionel was called to the English bar in Middle Temple in 1940. He then returned to Guyana to open a legal practice, spanning most of the years from 1940 to 1985. And, like his brothers before him, he too became a Queen's Counsel in 1954. Lucas also led a prolific political career. He led 4 trade unions and served in the Legislative Council between 1952 and 53. He served as the mayor of Georgetown in 1955, 56, 1960, and 61. In the late 1950s, he established the conservative political party, the National Labour Front. They won 1 seat in the 1957 elections. However, his most significant accomplishment is arguably receiving the record of most successful lawyer from the Guinness Book of World Records in 1990, a title unchallenged to this day. The record is for obtaining, as a defense trial lawyer, 245 successive murder acquittals. In a few instances, his clients were found guilty in jury trials but were acquitted in appeal cases. He later served as a high court judge and, honestly, a whole host of other accomplishments that are far too numerous to list here, including being knighted by the Queen. However, after decades of achievements, including becoming a Christian minister in his old age, Sir Lionel Lucas died on the 12th of December, 1997. And that's just a brief snippet of the life of Sir Lionel. So I encourage you to learn more about him because it's very interesting, to say the least. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Rondell Kelman says, after 2 months, another $200 million US. Yes, and now the fund is about 2/3 depleted, we're saying. Bantu King also had feelings about the last withdrawal, saying, your guess is as good as mine in where the $83 billion will be spent. So before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for tonight's question. Many say we should renegotiate the oil contract so that it's fair for Guyana. So I want to know, what arrangement do you think would be considered fair? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out on Monday for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bulford saying, have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive, or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Good night, folks.